For some professions, the official definition isn't just a bunch of words in a dictionary, it's a line of defense. It's what keeps us safe. Today, we're diving into one of those professions, geoscience, and why its definition is so incredibly important to our modern world. Okay, so to really get what geoscience is, it helps to see what it isn't. Let's take this classic example. An engineer. They're the ones who design and build the tunnel. They make it work for us. But the geoscientist, they're the one who understands the mountain itself. They're looking at the rock layers, the fault lines, all the hidden risks. One designs for humanity, the other interprets the Earth for humanity. So if geoscientists are the interpreters, not the builders, why in the world does the law need to get involved with a strict definition? Well, that question gets right to the heart of it, because the stakes of getting that interpretation wrong are incredibly high. It really all begins by drawing a clear line in the sand. We have to establish who can make these critical calls, and more importantly, why that boundary needs to exist in the first place. And here it is, the bottom line. The legal definition of geoscience isn't about being exclusive or creating a fancy club. It exists for one single massive reason: to protect all of us, the public, the environment, and our property from things going badly wrong. This is what we mean when we say regulated profession. It's any job where if someone messes up, there's a serious risk to public welfare. So you need people doing that work to be licensed, to be legally and ethically accountable for their judgment. That accountability is everything. It's the foundation of public trust. Okay, so how do you actually put a legal fence around such a complex field? Well, the law breaks it down pretty elegantly into three core pillars. Together, they give us a really clear picture of what this profession is all about. You can think of it as answering three basic questions. What do they actually do? Well, they advise, evaluate, and interpret. Why do they do it? For discovery, development, and investigation. And how do they do it? This is key: by applying core sciences. Let's break each of those down. So, pillar number one, the nature of the work. This isn't just about collecting data. It's about providing expert advice that informs huge, critical decisions. For example, think about building a dam. A geoscientist's evaluation of the ground's stability could be the only thing standing between a successful project and an absolute catastrophe. Then, there's the second pillar, the purpose. A lot of this work is aimed squarely at discovering and developing natural resources. And that can mean anything from locating the mineral deposits our entire economy runs on to something even more fundamental, like identifying safe, clean groundwater so that a community has something to drink. And pillar number three, the foundation. This is what makes it a true profession. This isn't just about looking at rocks and making an educated guess. It's about the rigorous, professional application of math, chemistry, physics, you name it. It's about turning raw data into evidence-based conclusions you can bet the farm on. That scientific rigor leads us straight into our next section, a professional's responsibility. Because when your conclusions can affect billions of dollars and potentially thousands of lives, the weight of that responsibility is just immense. And if you want to see what happens when that responsibility fails, you just have to look at the infamous Breck scandal. In the mid-90s, this tiny company claimed it found the biggest gold deposit in history. The stock market went absolutely insane. But the whole thing was a lie. A massive fraud built on fake geological data. The collapse was nothing short of catastrophic. Breck's was a huge wake-up call for everyone. It became a prime example of the devastating consequences of unethical reporting, and it was one of the main catalysts that pushed Canada and others to seriously strengthen their geoscience regulations. It was a very painful lesson. So, what does this legal responsibility actually look like day to day? It means a geoscientist must use their own independent judgment, rooted in science. They literally put their professional seal on reports, taking personal responsibility. They're bound by a strict code of ethics to ensure integrity and competence. You can think of it as a firewall against another Breck's happening. Okay, so let's pull this all together. At the end of the day, why does this definition, these rules for a single profession, actually matter so much in the real world? When you strip it all away, professional geoscience really stands on these three ideas. First, it's grounded in serious scientific rigor. Second, it's defined by professional and legal accountability. You are on the hook for your work. And third, its ultimate purpose is a contribution to society, protecting our safety, our environment, and the resources we all share. So, the next time you hear about a major new building project or a debate over water resources,
you'll know that there's this invisible framework of professional geoscience working behind the scenes to keep it all safe and honest. It kind of makes you think, doesn't it? What other invisible professions are out there, quietly relying on precise definitions just to protect our daily lives?